You are watching CIO TV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Info Media.
Hello and welcome to CIOTV.live, production of Accent Info Media and sister concern of Enterprise IT World, MIA. Today I'm at GITEX. This is day 5, final day. Of course, the footfall looks to be little less compared to the other days. However, given the fact that this expo is one of the largest one, we are meeting thought leaders, decision makers, influencer of IT and security industry. Now I have Mr. Jochen Kaiser, Data Officer IT and Head Data Ecosystem, Mercedes-Benz Group. Jochen, thank you very much for taking time out and coming to our booth for giving an opportunity to speak to you.
So thanks a lot, Sanjay, for having me. I mean, very interesting to see the JTEX here. Tons of visitors. I know footfall is a little bit less today than it used to be, but now finally the time to have some interesting conversations. So thanks a lot for having me.
Excellent. From Mercedes' point of view, how relevant is this expo?
I mean, for us, it's obviously very interesting. I mean, we see UAE as a region on the digital edge. I mean, that's really an important place to be, to get in touch with many of our customers, and to also get in touch with many of the other exhibition makers. So that's very interesting for us. So very good.
Okay, you being a stakeholder, you being a thought leader, a decision maker in the data space, you understand the data science better than the others. We have been talking a lot about big data. Now people are saying that out of big data, there has to be very specific, actionable data, which can influence the business, the customer experience, productivity of the employees. How do you see the trend?
I mean, we actually see multiple trends. One of the core thing is everybody is moving to a data mesh approach. So if you have a large enterprise or are in the public sector, we see a lot of enterprises actually connecting different data silos and bringing that together. That's one of the things. And the other challenge is really bringing data into action. So that's a core challenge. I mean, many companies, many public sectors were really good at bringing the data together at a central location, but then nobody knew what is the data, so there was no real availability of the data within the enterprise. And that's one of the things which we are tackling now heavily, because as you said, if you want to excel at have a customer-facing recommendation engine and stuff like that, you really need to make it actionable. You really need to bring the action to the customer. And that's one of the core topics which we are now striving to build upon our big data setups.
With the advent of AI, with the advent of particularly generative AI, how data science is getting influenced, how to what extent data is becoming actually a real oil?
Yeah, I mean, from our point of view, it's definitely the new fuel for the future. We can definitely see that without having a solid fundament of data, without having it connected and described in your enterprise, you will have a hard time to really excel on Gen AI or any AI topic. It's simply the case. So from that point of view, it is really the new fuel for the future. What we also see a lot is in the end that there's a necessity to actually work together in a larger sphere. So previously, all company data, bringing it together internally was the core challenge. Now we also see that bringing data together on a larger scale is also super important for many companies and also for many government agencies. In the end, not to only look at your own data, but also look at, for example, in our case, supplier data or data from competitors and stuff like that. So that's a topic which we are definitely striving to do.
Jochen, organizations which are going by data science or data-driven decision making, and organization without having any data-driven decision making. What is the difference between both the organizations? Because you have been seeing in your organization and your competition as well. And what are the advantages of having a decision making, data-driven decision making capability?
Yeah. I mean, the main difference is, I mean, if you look at the past, many decisions in the automotive industry were, I would say, expert decisions taken by engineers. But obviously, as we are moving more and more to become a software-driven topic, and the car is in the end a shell only for a bunch of software stacks, we are seeing that it's more and more important to face the decisions on what to make, what to present to the customer, what car to create in the end based on data. And that's the reason why data is so important nowadays, and data-driven decision-making is the way to go. So frequently we are now hearing the phrase from ourselves inside and also from many of other competitors and partner companies that they say, hey, we can't take the decision yet, we don't have the necessary data at the moment. And I think that's really the core way to go. And I mean, simply also looking at the figures, which I can't disclose here, but we see that if we do data-driven decisions, that saves us a ton of money. And it also allows us to create additional revenue on that side. So that's definitely what every company is striving for. So we would say, hey, every company who is not yet embarked on the journey to become more data-driven should better do so, because it will be a challenge keeping up with the competition if you don't do so.
All right, keeping data on your perspective, what is the future of automotive industry? If you can give, I mean, little deep dive into that space.
I mean, as I said, I mean, we are seeing a lot of software making it to the car across the board, not only for Mercedes, but for everybody. And if we talk to the customers, many of the customers will say, I bought this Mercedes because of MBUX, because of the interface to the customer. So in the end, being data-driven, utilizing data on that side will make the difference. So that's a big change on that side. What we are obviously seeing is that having the right software, having the right software stack in your vehicle will be the main decisive factor also for the future for many customers to purchase a vehicle or another vehicle. So that's one of the core things. So Mercedes-Benz has decided to move on the way to create MBUS and MBUX as our own. Other company makers are doing that differently, but we are very confident to move into that direction is actually the right move, because then we can have really a luxury experience within the car, which we are striving for.
All right, I saw a solution in your booth, which is known as Accentric.
Yeah.
What is this Accentric?
So Accentric for us, I mean, one of the core challenges when you run data mesh is that you still have data in silos. I mean, every large company has that. And the thing is that if you have data in silos, you need to connect it somehow. So we came up already 2-3 years ago with saying, hey, we want to have a data marketplace internally, but also externally, connecting all the separate data silos. And we also wanted to make that in a very secure manner, so we choose to have a blockchain-driven approach. So data connectivity is all tokenized, so we have a way of really securing the data on that side. So we have a privacy-preserving technology, as you know, coming from Europe, GDPR, so data protection is very strong here. And that brings with it the additional benefit that we are actually able to really bring compute to data. So I think the real future, if we go 3-5 years down the line, will be that actually collecting the data at a central spot will no longer happen. You will simply push out the compute to the different edge nodes. That can be a vehicle, could be a smartphone, could be one data center everywhere. And that the compute will actually happen there. And there we created a centric solution, which we both host as a central marketplace and then also offer as a white label solution, not restricted to the automotive industry and not restricted to any kind of vertical in the end. So it's a really white space solution which allows companies and governments to actually and effectively work with their separate data silos and bring that together in a safe manner and preserve privacy on the line. You know? That's what we are striving for.
And you were saying that you will be white labeling this one for the other sectors, vertical markets.
Yeah. In the end, we are really looking for setting up a data marketplace to, in the end, a little bit become the Shopify of data marketplaces. So that's what we're actually looking for, striving for, and delivering that, because we think many verticals actually have the very same issue, whether you are in life science, pharmacy, or anything. I mean, you always have the issue, how can I preserve privacy if you have PII data, or if you, like we have, have a large installation and a large business in China, getting data in and out of China is a huge challenge. So, and there we have now finally found a solution for that, really pushing and paving into that way, and that's catching up a huge number of interests. So that's the good thing on that.
Have you created use cases for other sectors to latch into it? Do you have a center of excellence for other sectors as well?
Yeah, I mean, what we are currently doing, I mean, we are in really final talks to a lot of public sectors where they say, hey, we want to actually be able to share data on our citizens, but without disclosing privacy. So that's one of the big things. We have both a huge interest here in Europe, but also here in the UAE region. That's one of the main reasons why I'm here. As we know, UAE, different Emirates, so sharing data across the Emirates is a huge challenge. So we see a high potential on that side and had some really, really good talks on that side. But we see also the same thing, for example, in the health sector. So we have some leads on that side to really go into a piloting phase on that, to be able to share and work with health data on that side, which is a huge challenge. And there we offer obviously a very good solution with keeping the data where it is, but being able to run your algorithms on top of that without having to disclose the data. Yeah?
So all this, the entire solution is compliant with different vertical specific compliances that is in place. Plus,
we are covering that. Yeah. As we speak, we're covering that. So we're really moving into that direction. We didn't finish everything on that side. So we are moving on a step-to-step basis, depending on what is really required on that side. So we're really working with our clients and say, hey, what is the topic for that? Yeah.
Currently, what is the case now? Which are the verticals that you have already created use cases?
I mean, currently, obviously, we are coming from the work which we have, basically demonstrating the stuff of working together with our suppliers, mainly in the automotive industry on that side. We are currently very close on the public sector side in Europe to deliver data for citizen data, bringing that together. So that's the second case which we are looking at, and we are also working with one of our tier 1 suppliers to allow them to actually share data, which is also an important topic when you take a look at many of the ESG topics that you need to collect data across multiple tiers and across multiple lines. So that's another one where we're currently working together with one of our suppliers.
Thank you, and for coming here and speaking to CIOTV.live. I wish you all the best with all your activities.
Sanjay, thanks a lot for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure is mine too. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jochen Kaiser, Data Officer IT and Head of Data Ecosystem, Mercedes-Benz. You heard him speak about the future of automation, the future of data-driven decision making, and you heard him also saying about Centric, which is a data cloud initiative that Mercedes has created, and they are doing a lot of efforts bringing the same solution to other sectors as well. So keep watching. Thank you.